OGTV 45 tapping in. And today I'll be calling out my Caribbean community in New York City for hypocrisy. I could do that. I'm a New Yorker. That means I was there in the early 90s. Rikers Island, y'all remember when the blood started? Yeah. Black Americans and Caribbeans are pretty much who made up the Bloods when it started. A lot of the founding members were Caribbeans, along with Black Americans. And it was a derogatory term that we all used during that time, early to mid 90s, when referring to Puerto Ricans. And that term was Germans. But every last one of us all had Puerto Rican friends back in our neighborhoods where we were from. And we expected for them to understand that when we spoke about Germans, we were only talking about the racist ones and not them. And before you say y'all not oppressing my people, I got 3 bitch-ass Jamaicans for you right here. And I can show you and tell you exactly what they're doing to oppress my people. And it's far worse than anything them Puerto Ricans was doing on Rikers Island.
The Black Americans, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about Wes Moore vetoing a reparations bill for the descendants of American slaves. This guy is from a Jamaican lineage, and we gotta have an honest discussion about some of this diaspora stuff, about the reasons why there is some animosity, and we have to be honest and not gaslight and not deflect, because it wasn't Black Americans who did anything to this man. It was the 35% of Black Americans who were in his state that voted him in.
That Jamaican lieutenant governor, now I posted this before. Remember her? Now the other day, last week, she was all up in the Holocaust Museum. This is her right here. Equally sombering and full of hope, the VA Holocaust Museum tells the story of those who survived the Holocaust. 1.5 million children were annihilated simply for being Jewish. May we never forget. This is her right here. May we never forget that. But when it comes, and this woman is Jamaican, but when it comes to foundational Black Americans, Virginia's first Black lieutenant governor said, we need to move on from slavery. She's telling us we need to move the hell on. So the white folks don't forget, but us, y'all move on. This is why these folks cannot be our representatives, ladies and gentlemen.
And I don't see not one of y'all calling them out on it. I don't see no Caribbeans on no platforms calling out their own people and telling them to stay out of this U.S. politics. It don't got nothing to do with us. No, y'all want to feel entitled to speak on whether or not Black Americans should get reparations for slavery when y'all wasn't here for none of that. That slavery, that Jim Crow, that none of that. Y'all don't got a right to speak on that, man. The first thing they do is they cosplay. And y'all think we making this up. Y'all all stuck up in New York and them northern states where y'all real deep at. In these southern states like Virginia, where this chick is running for governor, in Maryland, where Wes Moore is governor, it's not enough for y'all there to swing the vote. It's really not. So what they do is they trick the Black Americans into thinking they one of them. Here's the proof.
Wes Moore's habitual lying goes from Bronze Stars to even his book, where he lies about being from the main streets of Baltimore, conveniently at a time when the HBO series The Wire was wildly popular.
The New York Times best-selling book, The Other Wes Moore. Reading the book, it would appear Moore is from the streets of Charm City.
You're a liar!
But we're unable to find any evidence candidate Wes Moore being born or growing up in Charm City.
This is my home and the place that supported me. Literally, I write on page 7 of my book about where I was born, and I write on page 37 of my book about my family transitioning from Maryland up to New York.
You're a liar!
Flip to page 166. Moore's words claiming he lived in the city, writing, quote, in West Baltimore, we lived like kings compared to this.
Where did you live when you lived in Baltimore City?
Yeah, so we lived over in Waverly, and so when I first got a chance to live here full time in Baltimore.
Because when?
It wasn't until I was in college.
That's when he was a student at Hopkins. But there are several examples of speaking engagements and hosts introducing Moore as a Baltimore native dating back years.
These were areas that we knew. These were blocks that we knew.
You picked Johns Hopkins for undergrad.
I did.
Why?
Part of it was a chance for me to go back home to Baltimore. How can we continue to build up a place that is not just my hometown, but you can understand my story without understanding Baltimore?
Do you think you misled the public at all?
I do not think I misled the public at all.
In case you haven't noticed, I am black and I have been black all my life.
Is she going to be like, this is me eating collard greens and cornbread? I'm in Harlem. And they said back to me, no, she's done that. I said, no. I said, shut up. That's not true. She's not done that. There's no way.
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
So how do you make your greens? Do you put turkey in them? Do you
Bacon.
Nice.
Y'all can't blame everything on the white man. The white man wouldn't have a buffer class if you niggas didn't campaign for it. Reparations is the only thing, not just the most important thing, the only thing to a lot of black Americans. The only black Americans who are not standing 10 toes down on reparations is the ones who already got their bag. And a lot of them don't want nobody else to have money too. That's their only leverage. That's their identity, their personality. Look at the black Americans who speak against reparations. Charleston White. Charleston White gotta buy a coochie. If all of the women got their own $1 million, they don't even need to sell him none. They get to tell him no. He's literally stuck. Anton Daniels. The man looks like a meme. He looks like his eyes are too close together. His nose is too big. His teeth look like chiclets. He looked like a Muppet. He says we shouldn't get reparations. You know why? You won't get no pussy. You're going to lose the bitch you got if the nigga next to you had $1 million. You flexing your daddy money. Jesse Lee Peterson. He looked like shit on a stick. Like, really look at the black Americans who speak out against reparations. They don't want nobody else to have no money. They got a few dollars and they feel threatened that if the next nigga had a few dollars too, they wouldn't have nothing to stand on. Tell me Anton Daniels don't look like a Muppet. Asians, Latinos, and Caribbeans have all shown the issue, not on the street level. I ain't talking about the nigga riding the train with black reefer lips. Not on the street level, on the highest level, on the level of politics. When our reparations is really on the table right now, it's like y'all don't know how close we are to getting this because y'all not interested in it because you don't get it. If you don't got shit coming, you know you a migrant, then it's like, come on. You're not interested in that. But for those of us who are, we sitting there watching people migrate to this country and interfere in that. And they're the ones putting the stop on. It's not even the white people at this point. It's them.
Black people don't need another apology. We need safer neighborhoods and better schools. We need a less punitive criminal justice system. We need affordable health care. And none of these things can be achieved through reparations for slavery. For all these reasons, Bill H.R. 40 is a moral and political mistake. Thank you.
Instead of any of my Caribbean brothers and sisters speaking out against these Caribbean politicians who are fucking black Americans over, no, y'all support them because they representing your own country. You proud of them. You help them get in office.
And this guy vetoed a bill to stop a study. Meaning that he didn't even want to freaking study. And that shows you some of the animosity that some people, not everybody, have when they are black immigrants or come from a black immigrant family towards descendants of American slaves, towards FBAs. And I'm going to show you some actual proof of this when it comes to this particular issue. And Wes Moore, he had the potential to run for freaking president. And he will not make it there now because they're saying he shouldn't even show up to South Carolina. The Democrats in South Carolina says because reparations is such a hot button issue and because so many black people live in South Carolina, it's one of those states where almost half the state is black. Yeah, listen, it is not good right now.
You hear the one state the man told Wes Moore don't even go to? South Carolina. And where's my home state? Where's my family from? South Carolina. Like he said, the blacks is like half the population there, so that means they're not a minority, bro. We buy black in South Carolina. I can go out my door and spend my money at all black establishments, black American establishments, all day, every day. From the barbershops to the food stops to the King's grocery store around the corner. Everywhere I go, I can spend my money with black people. And we can circulate the black dollar around the neighborhood. This is what I was saying in New York. You can't do that. You can't just go out and spend your money with black Americans everywhere. But in Washington Heights, I'm pretty sure you can go out and get everything you want from a Dominican, if you're a Dominican. In Flatbush, I'm pretty sure you can go everywhere you want and get something from a West Indian, whatever it is you're looking for, if you're West Indian. Probably except gas. I don't know if y'all got gas stations. It's hard for everybody to get gas stations that ain't Indian and Arab.
Because you see, this here comes from the Pew Research Center. It's about reparations. And among all black adults, right, 69% want cash payments. And among U.S. born, 71%. Most of those being FBAs, people who could trace their lineage. But a foreign born, people like Wes Moore's family from Jamaica, 52%. That's almost a 20-point drop.
The reality is, I had an unusual experience, an unusual black American experience, where I grew up in two states pretty much equally, New York and South Carolina. And I know in New York it was very diverse culture. Like I said, I had friends from all ethnicity, childhood friends. And in South Carolina, it was just black people and white people. So the culture there is different. I make a lot of these videos not to bash the Caribbeans or Africans or Latinos in New York, but to let my people in the South know that we are not the same, and you should not put your votes with them. When you see a black face pop on the screen like a Wes Moore or Winsome or Yvette D. Clarke, don't think black face, that's automatically us, because they will blindly vote for a black face because they are that into being black and buying black and keeping everything in the community. So they see these black faces and they automatically hit the button. My mother, my sister, my aunties are in Virginia where Winsome is running for governor. I don't need for them to see her and think black woman, because Winsome is running around trying to sell that she's black, and vote for her blindly because they think she's a black woman. No, these videos are so people like them know that there's a difference. Because the first thing y'all say when I complain about it is the FBAs voted them in. So if I'm campaigning to keep the FBAs from ever voting a black immigrant in office again, why the fuck are you mad at me? I mean, that's what I'm supposed to be doing? But you bitch ass niggas in my comments telling me I'm hating, I got hate in my heart for Caribbeans. When I caught my case, I was with all Jamaicans, and not one of them niggas did a day in jail. Not the police never even came and talked to one of them niggas. I laid it down and did my bid by myself. The hell is you talking about? I ain't never turned my back on my Caribbean homeboys. Come on, stop it, man. Stop it. I showed them the same love I show everybody else. But I watched them same Caribbean homeboys call the Puerto Ricans and Germans with me. And we had Puerto Rican homeboys too. But because it was racist Puerto Ricans, we was allowed to call them Germans. Now I'm showing you it's racist Africans and it's racist Jamaicans. It's racist Caribbeans. Y'all want me to talk about them? That's being divisive. Or I can't, that's divisive now, right? It wasn't divisive to the hood. We isolated the Puerto Ricans and called them Germans. It was we all black then, right? But now I'm telling my black people, nah, them niggas came from them islands and they're not doing right by us. And I'm showing you the evidence and I'm showing you the proof. And you saying I'm wrong?
The youth talk it like a joke, but guess what? A serious thing, Can we know some yard would have said, fight what kind of blood clot war? For who? And for the white man, them never do me nothing. They come if you make money for me and my family. If me have to go fight war, me I go back on my blood clot yard. Saying? And another thing I want the Queen to know, saying? Yes, there are Africans and there are Caribbean people who think that them better than African Americans.
If you can't speak out against your own people that's doing wrong to my people, then it sounds like you siding with them. It sounds like you cool with them funneling the money your way instead of where it's supposed to go. If you feel like slavery is old news and we should get over it or any of those sentiments like that, none of your people died here. The people, the families who people did die here, we all collectively say, fuck you. And everything you love, everything you stand for. Now y'all see where this is coming from? We did not throw the first stone in this, man. No, we didn't throw the first stone. This is reactions the things that's being done on a real broad scale. And none of y'all are speaking out against it. Y'all leaving me up to speak out against it. And they get tender dick when you don't like the way I say it. Dirty ass son of a bitch, Wes Moore, stopped the study of it because the study was going to determine who was entitled to get it by birthright, by lineage. He don't qualify. Every black face that don't qualify is speaking against it, and we got the numbers showing that. And y'all telling me I'm being divisive and I'm wrong? I'm wrong for wanting what my people fought for and died fighting for? Because y'all not entitled to it? You niggas out of y'all goddamn mind.
And what Wes Moore did reflects the reasons why there is a freaking diaspora war. Because we've been noticing in Black America, where you have people who come over here, not everybody, but enough of them, people who get into a position of freaking power like Wes Moore, and they will undermine the native black population here. They will undermine reparations. They will use the excuse, oh, we didn't know the history. Then why in the hell are you even passing judgment on something that you don't know nothing about? But yet the moment that I bring this up, you're being divisive. No, that's not divisive. We're talking about a freaking elected official. How in the world is it divisive to discuss an elected official and the potential reasons why he took an action that denied economic justice? He didn't even want a damn study. That's how you know this goes deep.
And to any of you black Americans that's standing against black Americans in this bullshit, I wish the worst to you all. I wish they turn on you in the worst way. I wish all the nasty, dirty thoughts they think about doing to me but ain't got the nuts to do it, I wish they do it to you for turning on your people. Every last one of my Puerto Rican homeboys that was really my homeboy, he stayed my homeboy the whole time I was running around calling Puerto Ricans Germans. He knew it ain't apply to him. But for some reason or another, my Caribbean homeboys is being a hell of a lot more sensitive. They don't want to own up to the fact that they got some bullshit ass people amongst them. When the Puerto Rican brothers was able to do that, they knew they had some racist niggas amongst them. And they was ready to clean house. A lot of them joined with us. So now I'm calling out the Caribbeans with just due. And we know it's been years of this kind of talk. Negative talk about black Americans in the household. We know this been going on for decades.
And I heard Candace say this, that, which is not true, that Caribbeans and Africans come over here and do better than foundational black Americans.
That's true.
That's not true. That's not true. What do you do? What or have you done that foundational black Americans have not done?
Well, I wouldn't consider like in particular to like my career, right? Because obviously there's a lot of people who are
anything.
Okay, no, well,
anything.
I'll talk about
what has a Caribbean or an African done here in America that we hadn't done 100 years ago?
I'll talk about school.
Okay,
right?
let's go.
When I get to high school or I get to college, when you look around and you see the black people who end up being engineers, a lot of them are like Nigerian Americans. You know what I mean? They're like they're immigrants, and I take away from that, their parents are instilling something in them, like. Just like it's like we know, like Indian parents are saying, "Yo, listen, you're not gonna go for no fucking arts. You're going for literally math or science." That's the thing. Come on, you got to admit that.
Sir, foundational black Americans, we built schools like Tuskegee. We built HBCUs and other independent schools 100 years ago, man. We've done the education thing. We've mastered that. We showed the world how to do the education thing, man. We got Booker T.
We're not taking away from pioneers.
Yeah.
We're not saying you're a pioneer. No. Whoa, we're not saying that FBAs are not pioneers.
Y'all just catching up on stuff that we've been doing, man. If you look at the movie Hidden Figures, those sisters was working with NASA. We've been doing that.
I'm looking at the people who are excelling now, though.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of foundational black Americans are business owners. Black Americans who are foundational are doing their thing now. What happens is a few Caribbeans come over here and get jobs and then want to pop your collar because you got a job.
You don't think it's at a greater rate, though?
No, it's not at a greater rate. You know what? It's not at a greater rate because what you do is you cherry pick the engineers and the doctors, but you dump all of the criminals, rapists, and gangsters on us and just make them black. Y'all never count them. That's the problem. You don't count the shower posse and all of these niggas who come over here. Yeah, I'm going there. Y'all don't count them.
No.
Take them niggas
That's
over
the
here
minority.
with you. Take them over. No, man, take the gangsters and the hoodlums with you. Y'all dump them on us. Y'all never count them.
You think that, so you, all right, okay. I get what you're saying.
Now I'm calling out. Y'all acting like y'all shit don't stink. Every nigga that call me racist or take issue with my content, I'm looking at you like you one of them. You going along with the program. You one of them. Every one of my niggas who I'm talking out against your people, and you ain't talking out against your people, You cool with that? You voting for them and things of that nature? You supporting them? You back it up? Same goes for you. I keep my promise, you keep your distance. And the crazy part is, niggas know in their heart, if I go to Jamaica and I buy a house and I get citizenship out there, I defect from America, whatever I got to do to become a full natural Jamaican citizen, you will never call me a Jamaican. You will never call me a Jamaican. I have no ties to that land. I have no family there. I'm not from the people. You will always call me an outsider. Why should different rules apply to y'all? What make y'all think y'all could take a city from us and we not gonna say nothing? Could a bunch of Americans really go down to Jamaica and take a city from them yardies, bro? And y'all think y'all could take a city and don't get no pushback? If you do, we're divisive. I don't know what they putting on the weed up there in New York, but y'all niggas better stop smoking it. If y'all think y'all ain't gonna get the same pain everybody else get when they get out of pocket. Y'all got people that's legit out of pocket that need to be talked about like dogs. And it's enough of them to put an S on that shit.